Explore the beginning and spread of Methodism, the impact of John Wesley, and step back in time to the 17th century at the World Methodist Museum. The museum, built in 1956 in the western North Carolina mountains at Lake Junaluska, is a ministry of the World Methodist Council. The museum focuses not just on United Methodists, but on how 80 different denominations or member churches have carried Methodism throughout the world, which is now in 134 countries. The World Methodist Museum holds a multi-million-dollar collection, is the largest Wesleyan repository in the world, and has over 10,000 artifacts on display. One of the most unusual pieces in the museum is Wesley's traveling pulpit. However, not for carrying great distances, it was used in open-air preaching around London. Though great in impact, Wesley was small in stature and needed the raised platform to speak to the massive crowds who came to hear him preach. Upon entering the museum, one of the first things you will see is the bronze flame. It is a replica of the Aldersgate Street marker in London, commemorating John Wesley's heartwarming conversion experience. John Wesley died in 1791 at the age of 88. This death mask is one of only 4 copies of the mask, which was taken at the time of his death. Along with the death mask is one of only 2 known rings commemorating the death of John Wesley. Also in the same case are 2 authenticated locks of Wesley's hair. Francis Asbury was to America what John Wesley was to England. Asbury was a true itinerant preacher, traveling 265,000 miles, reaching others for Christ. This wooden trunk on display belonged to Francis Asbury and is lined with a newspaper bearing the date November 10, 1814. Just above this newspaper is a picture commemorating the birth of the Methodist Church in the United States at the Lovely Lane Chapel in Baltimore, Maryland. The World Methodist Museum contains the most extensive bust collection of John Wesley in the world. Busts were usually reserved for royalty and military heroes. The fact that many busts were made by the world-renowned fine china company Wedgwood showed the impact that the Wesleys had on England and elsewhere. This enlarged in scale bust cast around 1795 was found in the crypt of Wesley's Chapel in London, England. The museum library details research material in many manuscripts. It also contains this first edition of the Christian Library, which John Wesley edited in 1749 to 1755. There is also a display that includes over 6,000 hymns written by Charles Wesley, including several that are still used today, like Hark the Herald Angels Sing. 28 drawers on display hold a large number of items, such as letters, plaques, plates, and medals. Another section of the museum features Richard Allen, once a slave who bought his freedom for $2,000 and started the AME Church in Pennsylvania. One of the most popular sections in the museum is the Holy Land exhibit, a collection of artifacts from biblical times, such as a clay pot dated 4000 BC, as well as a coin we know as the widow's mite. The flags flying outside the museum represent countries that are a part of the World Methodist Council. These flags rotate weekly. The international headquarters of the World Methodist Council are located inside the museum. The World Methodist Museum is a repository of treasures from the past that illuminates the present and the future.